we're all born into Adam's family. Actually, there was that television program years back called The Addams Family. It was revived. And then, but in that program, The Addams Family, fallen human nature is kind of exhibited. The wife's name is Morticia. And the root of the name Morticia is death. And, well, Satan is the architect of death and of sin. And ever since the human race began with the fall of Adam and Eve, death has reigned. Okay? Humanity was rooted in death, physical death and spiritual death. As a result of original sin, Adam and Eve's body were doomed to die, and we inherit that nature. But also they lost grace. They lost sanctifying grace. They died spiritually. So death reigned ever since that fall in the garden. One of the other characters in the Addams Family was Uncle Fester. Uncle Fester. And, well, that's what happens with evil. Evil tends to fester. Evil tends to become worse. Disorders tend to become more disordered. Bad becomes worse. Darkness becomes darker. Black gets blacker. Okay? Without some outside intervention, it's kind of just a festering of evil that takes place. A couple of the other characters were Cousin It and Thing. The tendency of fallen human nature is to objectify people. One philosopher says that it's the objectification of man, treating human beings like objects. and Cousin It and Thing kind of symbolize the fact that we sometimes use people and love objects, love things. Like God made human beings to be loved and things to be used. But sometimes humanity, we get that reversed because of that inclination to sin. We use people and we love things. And so after this, we needed outside intervention. God wanted to push the reset button for humanity. But in order to do that, he needed a new Adam. And a new Adam for a new humanity and a new Eve. And so in today's gospel, Jesus is revealing himself as the new Adam, the new beginning of the human race. Down into the water is a symbol of the death of the old Adam. Up out of the water is a symbol of the rising of the new Adam. He kind of prefigures his whole mission in his baptism. His death and resurrection, the cleansing of humanity and the rising to grace. Okay? Like we said, basically original sin means that one wheel of our shopping cart always wants to go off in the wrong direction. And one wheel of our fallen human nature pulls us where we should not go. It's only that grace that comes through Christ that can give us that like spiritual alignment to go in the right direction. Like we said, without that outside intervention that comes through baptism, humanity had no hope. And the gospel means the good news. The good news is that we have hope. The bad news is original sin, but the good news is redemption. So on the cross we say that Jesus Christ reversed the momentum of Eden. Like we say, things were going from bad to worse. But on the cross, Jesus reversed that momentum. He gave us the momentum of grace. He led humanity away from sin, toward God, toward virtue. And you and I are born and conceived into the family of the old Adam. Like that, the old Adam's family that's like 10% monster. But we're baptized into the family of the new Adam, which is the church. And so, symbolically in that baptism of Christ, he buries the old Adam and rises and outrises the new Adam. And we're baptized, like St. Augustine says, the Son of God became a son of man that the sons of men might become sons of God. In baptism, we become sons of God in his Son, Jesus Christ. Like, the voice from the heavens said, this is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Well, Fulton Sheen says that when God the Father looks at us post-baptism, he sees us with Jesus-colored glasses. This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. And as the book of Apocalypse says, Jesus says, behold, I make all things new. Through the church, through the sacraments, God makes all things new. St. Gregory Nazianzen says, Christ is baptized, let us go down with him and rise with him. And he continues, he comes to bury sinful humanity in the waters. He comes to sanctify the Jordan for our sake. It's like we say this, his baptism is the promise of redemption, and his death and resurrection are the fulfillment of that promise.